I've seen the champ changes in PBE, not all of them. Should I go over them right now? I'll go quickly over them right now. So, okay, a few more PBE changes that I haven't gone over yet. There was another post on Reddit about PBE that I already went over, and you guys can also watch that on my YouTube, called Nemesis Clips. So we have some champ changes as well. E damage of Ahri will go up by 40 per rank and 15% AP scale. Crazy insane buff. I actually like, when I saw this, I was like, is this really going through? This is crazy buff. I truly think Ahri is going to be one of the best mids with this buff. I already think her itemization is good, like Malignus is a good item. Horizon Focus, Creep Bloom, I think it shows really good itemization. And with this buff, you're going to want to max E second on Ahri, 100%, 1 billion%. I already think right now it is good to split points between E and W a lot. But after this, yeah, you're just going to want to put E second. And her E is crazy overtune spell when you max it because the charm duration goes up. And even if players have mercs or any sort of tenacity, the charm lasts too long. So this is going to like... I think this buff is way too big. I think it's like insane. They're giving Ahri 40 fucking damage and 15% AP scale. So Ivern is getting nerfed. This champs was... I mean, honestly, he's broken for God knows how long in competitive and solo queue for so long now. 5 less shield on E and 5% less slow on E. I think these are placebo nerfs. I don't see how this like makes Ivern balance. I don't think like... I think the champ will still be OP. I don't think there's anything really to say here. So Loana... the last time they nerfed her was placebo nerf. Now they, I guess, nerf Warmog, which I guess is like a little bit of a Loana nerf. 4 armor of the champion. So Pi got 4 armor of the champion this patch and it didn't do anything almost to win rate. So I think this is like a super small nerf to Loana. This is also kind of placebo because the armor is already giga high anyway. And yeah, I don't know. They don't want to nerf any for CC. So yeah, I think this will not do much. Okay, then we have a huge Nasus nerf. So Nasus E initial base damage will go from 55 215 to 55 175. So yeah, this is going to, and then the E dot base damage is also nerfed. So this is going to completely kill E max Nasus. Now, mana wise, Nasus is still going to be fine spamming this ability, but it's going to do so much less in lane. And I don't think it's going to completely kill off the champion. But I think what this does is that Nasus will no longer be just blind pickable like they do in LCK, and Nasus will no longer just be blinded mid lane in general. Now you're gonna need to fish more for like these good Nasus spots where you get a lot of value in Wither, and he gets like good itemization against specific champions. I think the champ will still be pretty good, but yeah, this is going to make it so you're probably gonna want to max put 2 or 3 points at E at maximum and just start outright maxing Q as fast as possible. And yeah, a lot of matchups like that he relies on maxing a lot of points into E. It's going to be a lot worse. So I think this will do a lot. Rumble is getting another nerf because last time they nerfed passive damage from Rumble and it did fucking nothing. It did absolutely nothing. Q damage over 3 seconds is going to go down by 20. Early game, so again, this is another early game nerf to Rumble. At level 9, the spell is the same. But AP scaling goes down by 10%. That's going to be nerfed to every level, especially late game. And target HP scaling is unchanged and it is still the same amount of damage. So basically AP scale is worse and base damage is worse. Going to obviously nerf the wave clear of the champion. And I think honestly Rumble will be... I truly think Rumble is at this point a really weak laner first 5 levels. And then level 7, level 9 he becomes fine again. E base damage also down by 10. Level 13 I guess you're kind of playing same champion almost. Or like late game. Yeah, I mean, mostly early game targeted nerfs, but also some late game here via AP scaling. I mean, oof, a lot of damage loss for Rumble. I think at this point, like, if this champion loses too much damage, like by keep nerfing his damage numbers, he just becomes useless. He has nothing to offer. This champion is just mainly doing damage. Viego. Free AD up on Viego and Q active bonus damage to monsters goes down. So they're trying to like buff Viego on lane and buff him in jungle a little bit while not giving too much power to jungle because you remove the monster damage so it like you slow his clear, right? But honestly, like this is one of the weirdest things ever. I don't understand why Viego is getting buffed. I don't get it. This champion is, in my opinion, a little bit overtuned in jungle. A little bit. So I don't get why this is getting buffed, but I get it. Like, they're trying to push Viego lane. This is like Viego lane trying to be buffed more than jungle. But, oh, I hate this. I hate to see this. I really don't think this champion needed this. Xin Zhao, armor growth up by 0.3, Q base damage per attack goes up by a little bit. So I think he doesn't max Q, right? What does he max? W into E, I assume? So I guess this is trying to bridge the gap between E max maybe second and Q max second. Maybe you'll want to max Q now, I guess. I mean, this is like 50 more damage from the spell, right? If you get all the hits off. But I think these are very small Xin Zhao buffs, and then armor growth, yeah, very small in my opinion. So then we have Zari. Passive charge damage goes base 90 to 200, stat growth scaling to 75 160, level 1 to 18. AP scaling unchanged, target percent HP or target THP, what is T? Total HP scaling, I guess. 115% stat growth scaling to 111% stat growth scaling. So they're giga nerfing Zari passive. And the Zari passive is this is like such a pro focus nerf because pros are so much better at lane bullying with this spell or like the passive auto zap than a normal player is on Zari. This will affect pros so much. I mean, this will heavily nerf Zari solo lane and even in laning phase, specifically Zari bot lane. Because this is so much damage loss. Like seriously, pros are so good at using this zap. This zap is so broken. Because when you're playing Zari mid and you're playing against like a Doran Shield champion, the way you kill Doran Shield champions is with this zap. Your normal auto attack on Q and your W doesn't kill Doran Shield champions, but this does slowly over time. And yeah, this is massive. I mean, I feel like this is just a stat, but rather just saying, hey, fuck you, Zari, we don't want you at the Worlds meta. I think they just want to other champions than Zari again. I would assume this is why they're nerfing Zari. I think like probably a patch after Worlds, they're gonna buff her again up, right? And then we have Ziggs. Passive damage to structures is now 200% instead of 250%. So again, another pro focus nerf. So basically what's happening here is that I think right now we're kinda in the spot in League of Legends where on bot lane mages are coming up. I really think because Riot has nerfed so much ADC items and so many runes on ADCs, I truly think most ADCs are starting to suck. And because of that, I think it's the rise of mages on bot lane. And this is why Ziggs right now is so popular in Korea. Like, Ziggs is becoming really meta in Highland Korea slowly over time. And Riot is like kind of aware of this, and they don't want Ziggs to dictate too much of Worlds meta. And especially because lane swaps are also very present. Like there's this Worlds comp where people play, or sorry, Pro Play comp, where people play Tristana Ziggs, and you have two champs that are so good at tower pushing. And yeah, Ziggs is also really good in macro, because in Pro Play, you can like lane swap with Ziggs and get all the towers and stuff, and lane swap meta Ziggs is also very good. It makes people be worse at lane swapping against him as well. So, and this is like another Pro Play focus nerf. So like these two nerfs on these two champions, like you can really see they're thinking of ways to like nerf them more in Pro than in a normal solo queue, you know. And then items Trinity Force, everything got reverted. I think this is good. I don't think Trinity Force really needed this type of changes. I think 30 million move speed was a bit too OP anyway. And that's kind of all there is here to really talk about. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. I would say the Ari buffs are absolutely huge. The Nasus nerf, they're already like thinking of making Nasus not be too big of a problem in Pro, and then Zari Ziggs nerfs for Pro. I would say Viego probably doesn't change much for Pro, good nerf for solo, good buff for solo queue, and then Xin probably too little for Pro especially, and then yeah, Loana probably too little as well, and Iron nothing, this does nothing. Yeah, it's interesting. There's probably gonna be more changes than this, and remember, like this might not even be the final changes. They might change them, right? Because it's PBE.